Hello and welcome everybody. Today is Thursday and we're doing the Hatha Yoga practice, focusing on the hip flexors and its correlation to the spine. There's a bunch of different muscles in the hip flexor group, and two of them run underneath the abdomen and connect to the low back. So when we're stretching and strengthening the hip flexors, we're also inadvertently working on the health of the lower back. And we're going to include some twists, and we will be doing back bend. So it's not a therapeutics for people who have low back injuries. It is a practice that will be good for your spine, provided you don't overdo and you're prepared to practice poses that you're familiar with and or aren't practicing with acute injuries. So it's good to know the difference between a spine program that's for people who are injured and a spine program that just makes your spine feel alive when you're in a normal and healthy state. Let's go ahead and begin in a standing posture. We'll do a standing warm up and we'll start with deep breath. Take deeper breath each round, expanding with the inhale and letting it all out with the exhale. Breathing out and drawing into the core. Continue inhaling until you're full. And exhaling until you're empty. And continue with the breath. Lift the arms and gently twist side to side. The hips and knees move a little bit, and that's one thing. But you just don't want to severely twist in the knees. And you could focus on stabilizing the hips. That will move you less, but strengthen your mid-back more. So we use this warm-up as a form of activating the muscles as well as bringing mobility into the spine. And when you're done with that, we'll relax the arms and roll the shoulders. Smooth shoulder rolls, deep breath. Both directions. And let's roll out the wrists. Both directions. And roll out the hips. Both directions. And rolling out the knees. Let's do about 4 or 5 in each way. Good. And then bring the arms up. Lift the arms, weave the fingers together, and push up through the hands, and then bend and extend several times. And relax the arms. Let's go ahead and do the good old-fashioned pat down. So we'll start by patting the shoulder and the upper pectoralis. Breathe. And then patting down the arm, up and down the arm. inner and outer arm. And lift the arm and pat down the ribs. And rub the wrist. And rub out the elbow. And rub the shoulder. And let's go ahead and pat the shoulder and the upper pec. And then work up and down the arm. Do the inner arm and the outer arm. And lift the arm and pat down the arm and down ribs. Rub the wrist. Rub the elbow. And rub the shoulder. And patting down the torso. And down the legs. And do the inner legs. And the outer legs. Go up the back of the legs, put a little bend in the knees, your back supported, tap your glutes and low back, and then to reach the mid-back and swing the arms. Very good, and then tapping that shoulder blade and upper back. Both sides. And rubbing the hands together. And then shaking out the arms a little bit. All right, nicely done. Let's go ahead and do some half sun salutes. Inhale, lift the arms, draw in the lower abdominals, and exhale, fold down. Flat back, half lift, arms up, fold down. Flat back, half lift, arms up, and continue. And arms down, walk back, downward dog. And knees down. Let's roll out the back. Breathing very smooth. And child's pose. the hands and knees. And take little push-ups. Push through the feet, hug the arms in, lower just a little bit. And then switch to a runner's lunge. Right foot up, knee above ankle, and lift the chest. Deep breath. Depending on where you feel tight, you may notice this is a kind of an upper hamstring stretch, or you're feeling it a lot in the hip flexors, maybe a little of both. Emphasize the lift of the chest, you're not slouching, and enjoy the simple stretch. Let's go ahead and switch sides. I like to use my hand to help carry the foot, get a really long stride, see where my knee is, right above the ankle, work the hips down, lift the chest, breathe. And let's switch to downward dog. And continuing with our warm up, pedal the legs, walk the dog. And then press strong through both heels. Knees come down. Let's go ahead and lower all the way. Face down. Reach back to the feet. Inhale. Easy cobra. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Easy cobra. Exhale. Release. Inhale. Easy cobra. Exhale. Lower. Inhale. Easy cobra. Exhale. Release. And then inhale. Easy cobra. And lift the hands. Exhale, lower. Let's take a Sphinx stretch and lift the chest. Feel nice openness in the chest. Deep breath. Slow down the exhale. Go ahead and lower. Inhale, basic locust. You lift the legs and the chest, lengthening the hip flexors to lengthen the legs. And then release. Inhale, cobra. Use the arms with just a little bit. Leave the elbows soft. Feel that the chest is opening and leading forward. Exhale, release. Use the core and lift. Downward dog. And very lightly, right foot up and runner. So you're using the strength of the hip flexors and abdomen to step light, maybe crawl the foot a bit, and then lift, a little bit more of a lift, and hold the thigh. Soften the shoulders, tall through the spine and the chest. Deep, deep breath. Keeping the hips square. They tend to shimmy kind of like the way Elvis used to move, but you want to not impersonalize Elvis when you're practicing yoga. So keep the hips square, breathe. And switch to downward dog. Light, light step. Left foot up. Runner's lunge. Knee above the ankle, and then if you'd like, lift a little more, hold the thigh. Stretch deep down to the hips, breathe. Let's do a breath or two more, very steady. Exhale, downward dog. And knees down. Let's go ahead and lower all the way. And inhale, Cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, locust. Lift the legs and chest, arms back. Exhale, lower. And inhale. Half locust. Just lift the chest and arms. Breathe. Exhale, release. Hands alongside the chest, use the core. Lift and then take a plank, top of a push-up. Downward dog. Step the right foot up very slow. Use that strength to take crescent lunge. Come on up and extend the arms, or just do a partial expression with the arms if you have a sore neck or shoulders. Otherwise, a nice deep crescent. Breathe. Exhale. Downward dog. Left side. Light, light step. And come on up. Runner's lunge. Crescent lunge. Yes, it's a variation of the runner's lunge, a lifted variation. We focus on the breath. It's stretching, but also very strengthening as we get nice and low into it. And when ready, downward dog. And knees down. Let's go ahead and turn to the side and walk or hop the feet apart into a straddle. And then take the left hand under the right side of the chest and twist, holding the low back. And let's do the other side. And come on down. Big bend in the knees. Rise on up. Open the right foot. Turn the back foot in. Take warrior two. Go ahead and let it all relax and switch sides. And arms and legs relax. Center and hinge down. One more time, holding the left hand under the right side of the chest, right hand on the low back, twist. Breathe. Let's go ahead. Switch sides. Exhale, unwind. Big bend in the knees, then come on up. Slowly bring the feet together, and then eventually taking a thigh stretch. You want to hold on to the wall or something, that's fine. Stretching the right thigh. And eventually lifting the left arm. Switching sides. And release. Let's go ahead and switch now to a wide squat. Deep breath. And we're going to gently sit. Setting up for one leg Navasana. We're going to do one leg at a time and then both legs. So arms back, elbows a little bent, and then keeping the knees level. So a lot of times we lift a leg but drop. Try and keep the knees at the same level and lift one leg, the foot pointed, and then switch sides. Good. And now we'll lift both legs, and you can hold the floor or arms out. Lift the chest, point the ankles. Now, one leg is very good for strengthening the hip flexors, and this is too, although you feel this one in the abs, more than one leg, you very much feel in the hip flexors. And it's important to have strong and flexible hip flexors. We're going to switch to hands and knees. Keep breathing, nice and smooth. And extend the right leg back. and lift. So we're elongating the hip flexor now. Lift the left arm. It's not like a big stretch, but whereas we were contracting it before, now we're lengthening these limbs, these muscles, while contracting different muscles. And we'll switch. And that's the way the body works really well, is doing the other side, balancing the sides, but also, having some muscles we're lengthening, some that we're contracting, mixing it up so that every muscle gets a good opportunity to move, stretch, and also contract. When you're done with both sides, let's go ahead and release to face down. Take the left arm under the head, stretch the right thigh, have the heel a little wider than the hip, and breathe. And switch. And release. Let's go ahead and take a nice Sphinx now and see if we can benefit from having worked the hip flexors and the thighs open more. In Sphinx, you may not feel it, but typically working on the hip flexors and the thighs helps with back bends, especially a really deep back bend like a camel or a wheel. The Sphinx is really good for opening up the chest. When you open up the chest and the hip flexors, then those deeper back bends feel much better on the body versus having that conflict of the front body being so tight. The back and the bones in the spine, or the discs between the bones, the joints, sometimes feel really bad because there's so much resistance coming from what's actually stretching in a back bend. The back contracts the back and stretches the muscles in the front. So the front body releases are really good for the back bend flexibility. We're going to take a lengthened position of the arms, feel even more open in the chest. And as always, if this doesn't feel right, you should avoid it and focus on something that you can breathe into, whether it's this or a modification. And we're going to come on down. Place the hands alongside the hips and inhale locust. Then setting up for bow. If you don't want to do bow, do any other back bend of your choice. Hold the ankles, hug the legs in. Take a moment to breathe, and then with an inhale, lift, keep the knees hugging in, lift gradually, and if it feels good, you can go deeper over time. Exhale, release, and rotate the head to the right. Let the spine rest as the neck gently twists. Breathe. Head comes back to center. And let's do locust one more time. And release. Set it for bow one more time. Take your time, hug the legs in, and when ready, inhale, lift. Exhale, release, and rotate the head to the other side. Head comes back to center. And now let's take a cobra and hold. You can do Sphinx again, or just modify it any way you need if you're not feeling like sustaining another back bend. Otherwise, holding cobra. And exhale, release. Use the core and lift. Take plank briefly. And then switch. Knees down, right foot up, runner. Runners twist to the right to decompress the spine. Try and not bunch up in the shoulders, but rather relax the shoulders, lift out of that bottom shoulder and arm, and enjoy that nice deep twist. That's good. Unwind and switch sides. Maybe step twice if you need, knee above ankle as always, and then twist. Very good. And then unwind. And switch to a kneeling position or sitting. And we're going to do one more twist. Now, if you can't sit on the heels, sit however you need. Sit tall and then twist to the right. Other side. And come back to center. Go ahead and release. Bring the legs out from under. Scoot up to make sure there's plenty of room. And roll back to knees to chest. And the feet to the ground, and then tuck the heels in toward the glutes, feet parallel. And inhale, bridge. Exhale, release. And then do either a really long bridge or 1 or 2 rounds of wheel if you already know how to practice wheel. I'm not really workshopping the instruction, so if it's part of your practice, do that. Otherwise, stay with the bridge. Start and bridge either way. Feet and thighs parallel. Lift to the comfortable level. Place the hands and add the wheel if you like. First wheel usually feels a little stiff in the shoulders, so I recommend just doing it briefly, using it just to shake the dust off. And when ready, do the second wheel. Or maybe you're working on bridge. You can also just do hip openers. Otherwise, get into a deeper wheel and breathe. And come on down when ready. Take butterfly stretch. Knees to chest. And let's go ahead and cruise on up. And adjust to a seated position. So you can either have the right leg bent and the left leg out, or tuck the left leg in. Level out the hips. Bring the arms up and twist to the right. And this is hard on the knee. Just do what I showed at first and enjoy the deep twist. Very good. Release from that stretch. Let's go ahead and set up for the other side. So start with the left leg bent. Draw the sitting bones back. You can keep the right leg lengthened, or you point the foot. Point the foot. You can even hold it to help get tucked under. Real good there. Arms up and twist to the left. Deep breath. Ready, come back to center. Let's bring both legs out from underneath, sitting bones back, open the feet a bit, roll the thigh, and sit tall. Other side. And then let's sit in a nice cross-legged position, the hips back, sit tall, close the eyes. Let's just take about a minute of peace and quiet. You ready? Come back. Center position, legs forward, hips back. Sit really tall and extend the arms. Lift the chest, breathe, and then forward bend. Release the stretch, scoot up, and then lower onto the back. Lower the feet and bring the feet wide. Bend the knees in. This is a great reset for the sacrum and the low back, taking pressure off the spine and lightly stretching the hips. Arrange the arms however you like, maybe even close the eyes, be very relaxed, and keep breathing. Very smooth. And when you're ready, bring the feet closer together and exhale, knees to chest. Open the arms, take the legs to the left, the body twisting right. Stretch, relax, and breathe. Let's do the other side. And when you feel nice and complete, take Shavasana and let it all go. Effort of the breath softens, close the eyes, and relax throughout the entire body. Ready? Take a deep breath. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Little movements back to the body. Take knees to chest. And gradually make your way up to a comfortable seat. Comfortable seat. We'll conclude 3 rounds of Om. Big inhale to begin. Namaste. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Yes, indeed. Last week I filmed a very short free weight strength training session. So if you're interested in other things than yoga, check that out. I haven't done any lately, but I have a whole collection of core workouts. We do things like locust and crescent, but we do a lot of core work, a lot of exercise. It's an exercise class. It doesn't have the mindful component. You can do it mindfully, but I'm not encouraging that like I do regularly with breathing and focus and mindfulness and the way I teach yoga. So check those things out for full fitness and to try some different things if you'd like. If you'd like to do a similar practice to this, but more vigorously, tune in to Vinyasa on Saturday. All these videos get saved, so you can use one any day of the week if you can't make the live stream. And there's quite the collection. So practice with any video you like, as much as you like, and send a donation if you can. There's descriptions and links below, so click those and hook up some cash. Me and my family appreciate it a lot. Drink some water and eat good food, whole foods, fruits, vegetables. Soups are good in the fall and the winter, especially if you're living in a colder climate. I'm going to hydrate here and lead by example. I personally don't appreciate people who don't lead by example, so I have to do that myself. Anyhow, although someone who doesn't lead by example doesn't mean that they're wrong, their ideas, if they're good ideas, but it does help to not be a hypocrite in this world, as difficult as that is from time to time. Thank you again. Take good care. I will see you soon. Ciao.